on, everybody? Welcome to Ageless Vitality with myself, Coach Joseph, and the one and only Dr. Mia. And today, let me tell you, this is going to be some good stuff right here. We have Dr. Javarra Hendricks. How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you all?
Doing great. Give us a quick bio real fast.
I am Dr. Javarra Hendricks, retired educator of almost 30 years. I have two
God
young
bless
adult
you.
children, and I have been a part of the adult novelty world now for about 25 years.
25 years of adult
Yes.
novelty world. And I'm going to ask you in a second what adult novelty actually means. But today we're talking about 50 Shades of Foreplay, reigniting desire after 40. All right, reigniting desire after 40. If y'all don't know what we do, we are Bella Wellness Center. We specialize in gynecology, hormone replacement therapy, intimacy products, as well as weight loss and laser hair removal. Um, we are celebrating this year 15 years, November 1st. So save the date because we're going to have a really good time celebrating these 15 years because it's been a God-given 15 years. So we are very blessed and happy to be here. What's up, Doc?
What's
It's
up, y'all? So, for those of you who don't know, Ageless Vitality is the podcast for the woman and man going through the midlife journey. Our goal is to help you live well so you can age well and truly experience everlasting intimacy. And we'll be talking about all things midlife journey. We want to make sure that you can transition through these different stages of life. And we've been transitioning, haven't we, Dr. Javar?
very much so. Very much so.
With grace and being able to truly experience the gift from God forever, ever, ever, ever.
Ever, ever.
So, with no further ado, let me get my first question for the Dr. Javara, who, like she said, is the what did you call it? Intimacy novel expert.
Yeah, that's me. Look, that's me.
That's you. I love it. So let's just talk a little bit. Let's start with what you know everything about alone. So for some of our people here, they are married. For some of our people, they are out here dating. For some of us, they are recently divorced or widowed and they're not quite dating yet. So I want to start the conversation just talking to that woman and man in their early 50s, late
Okay.
40s,
Okay.
who have started to have these symptoms that go along with the pauses, the menopause, the andropause, all the pauses. But can you just talk about foreplay and the 50 shades of foreplay and how we want to teach everybody how to reignite desire after the age of 40?
Well, I am one of those people who are divorced. I am divorced. I was married for 20 years with my partner for over 20 years. I am 5 years post divorce. And I have just now decided that I am ready to date.
Mm,
And and that's different from just playing, on that side when you have needs that need to be met.
right.
And with this part in foreplay and as all before, it's way more important to make love to my mind before my body gets to you.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk
And
about that. Let's
what
talk
what
about
I
that.
mean by that
Yeah.
is when you are this age, we are adults.
Yeah. We really.
Don't be afraid to text me during the day what you want from me later on that night.
Oh, you hear that, Doc?
Don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm thinking about you. And last time we were together and you did this and or I did this and you did that. I want to do that again tonight, but can we try this?
Mm,
Mm.
And that gets you heightened because that says he wants me. And
mm,
regardless to what people think, that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that want is more in just being involved. You want somebody to want you intimately.
yes.
So it starts for us during the day.
Okay.
And if I text you during the day what I want to do to you or what I want you to do to me, I want you to respond likewise. So when you get home, it has heightened that when you get there, it's a let's go kind of thing.
I
And
see.
our bodies respond to you differently versus, oh, here we go again.
Mm.
Because when you're coming out of a certain area, like divorce or being widowed, and you have been with somebody a long time, it
Right.
takes you a minute to get comfortable with somebody else.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It takes you
Definitely.
that comfortability. Like with me, I had heightened anxiety in my marriage because I was
Mhm.
rejected
Mm.
in my marriage. So that heightened sexuality is like, for me, I now have a friend who does not care what I say.
Hmm.
He likes that. And that's fine with me. So when you start doing that, it starts coming and it gets better.
Okay. So that's
And
again, what you're saying is that is um massaging and preparing your mind.
exactly. You prepare my mind. So once you get here, you just can't give me no Rudy poo.
Hmm.
I want everything you done text me today.
All that.
All that.
All
All
that.
that. Because if I'd have made it home before you, I done set the stage in the house to make it happen.
We hear that, Doc?
Even if
Mm.
that means like if I've set the stage and my love language like is giving, and I
Uh-huh.
love to cook. So I'm gonna be cooked to your dinner.
Mm.
I'm gonna have the house set.
Mm.
I'm gonna make sure it's not heavy, heavy because I'm gonna need you to come on to the next level because I don't want you to be too full, but
Hmm.
I want it to be sweet and lovely.
Yes.
And then with the music playing, and then you find out what type of music they like, and you put that on the playlist and you set the mood. Then when you go in the room, you got the perfect lighting, and let the music flow. And then I love to tell ladies all the time, put your body in a different package. And what I mean by that is invest in some lingerie, invest in pretty underwear that match. They have them in all sizes. Victoria's Secret has them. Kashik has them over there at Lane Bryant for all of us heavy duty women. And that makes it different.
Mm.
Hmm.
Don't be, when you go through all of that to get to the point to say, okay, I'm ready to be with someone else. Don't shortchange yourself of the experience. Because at this age, yeah. It's a different type of feeling
Mm-hmm.
versus what we had in our late teens, early 20s, whenever you started through your 30s and even part of your 40s. Hitting 50 is like, oh my God. And at 52, it's like, ooh, it's a thing to where the chemistry is different.
Mm-hmm. And
And
I
you
like
want that
what
to
you
keep
said
going.
about the lingerie because for me, Joseph always says that I don't need the lingerie. But what I want to remind women too is sometimes you do things for yourself because it makes
Right.
you feel sexy.
Right. And,
Absolutely.
and that's what
I
I was
believe
about to
that.
say, no, Mr. Joseph, that sometimes it's for us. And
Hmm.
when we feel better and sexy, our performance for you is better. Like I'm ready to try an experiment that somebody told me. And they say it's a turn on when a man sees you in his t-shirt. And I want to see, whether it works for him or not. I want to see.
Don't you touch my t-shirts.
you know, I want to see because he's different than what I was used to
Right.
before.
So let me ask you real quick. Let me ask you real
Go
quick.
ahead.
I don't want to interrupt you. So we're massaging the mind during the day. All
Right.
right. So me and Doc, we sit about 5 feet across. So I'm gonna whisper some stuff to you, Doc. Okay. Uh, that's what I'm gonna do. And then so we're massaging the mind during the day, and then we wrapping that package up different too. You
Yes.
know? So for me as a man, okay,
Yes.
how do I wrap my package up different?
Okay. It's like even like with you, if it's
Hmm.
your initiation of
Hmm.
doing it, like y'all may work. You may send her a note and say, "Will you go with me?" Like we did back in the day. Yes or
Hmm.
no,
Yes or
and
no?
do
Yeah.
it differently. You know
Hmm.
what she likes and what she does not like. So when you beat her home and you set the stage in the house, whether it's a picnic in the front room with her favorite wine, her favorite music, plan some little hors d'oeuvres, feed her the strawberries and the grapes, that kind of thing. Already have the room set. Do
Mm-hmm.
you and I know guys don't do X, Y, and Z like we do,
Mm-hmm.
but the initiation of having it together to say, I know you had a long day and this is what we did. Go have her, after you do that, have her bath drawn already, and take it there, bathe together, shower together, kind of thing. And that kind of heightens it when you go, because when you massage my mind, you massage my vagina.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she gets a little more prepared, a little soaking better
Yeah, well,
when you
we're having our
show me.
shower. We're having our shower rebuilt in the near future, just so we can take showers together.
Yeah. So, it's like
Yeah.
that preparation of you have just shown me. So that kind of thing. And I don't know whether you can cook, Joseph, or not, but if you can, just a little something, or
I'm a
call your
beast
favorite
in the
chef or
kitchen.
your favorite restaurant, and pick up, a light meal. And sometimes intimacy does not mean having sexual intercourse.
So I was about to go there, all right, because what you're talking about right now is more of what we call it's a mixture. It's a mixture of spiritual, intellectual, and
Exactly.
recreational
Exactly.
intimacy. Intimacy. And we talk about it all the time, how all of those work together along
Correct.
with physical and sexual,
Correct.
the intellectual, the spiritual, the recreational, and also the um, um, um,
Emotional.
emotional, right? And that's emotional as well, because we're preparing the mind for what we want to do later. And so it
Correct.
may not go all the way to physical. It may just go to have a great movie and a great time together.
And that was gonna be my point. If
Hmm.
you just put on a movie that's on Netflix that just came out that we might have missed at the movie, or
Hmm.
something that may be on Hulu or Amazon Prime, or something that we might have mixed, you have that already programmed, and you sit on the couch and you cuddle,
Hmm.
because that still keeps it going, because we're touching that physical. And then with the movie, if it's something that we're both interested in, we have conversation going on while it's going.
Hmm.
And that part, it still can end up, with sexual intimacy in the bedroom, but it does not, once you finish eating or whatever, it does not have to go right to that.
Right,
Right.
It can
right,
still
right.
be the quiet and the different types of getting it done.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we've been married 21 years now, and we still like to hang out with each other,
Yeah, and that's
and have a
good.
good time,
Playing a date night. And
having,
then when you plan the date night, plan her outfit.
but I dress her anyway, so
Well, I'm just saying, you can still say, when you
Where
get home,
yeah, let's wear
I've
this.
laid out the
Right.
dress I want you to wear
Ooh,
with the
she got
matching.
a couple that I'd love to see her in too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And you
absolutely.
done made reservations over at Little Betty or wherever you all trying to go.
Ooh, yeah,
Jahena,
now, hold on now, bring that cost down now. We
My
we
friend
go
is worth the cost.
no, we gonna go to a family deli or American
No,
deli. That's
not
what
with
we
that
go
dress
to.
on. You don't go to the American Deli with that dress on.
We gonna
Or
go to
if
American
even
deli,
if
get
you're
us
going
a
to
combo
an
meal.
event, because you all move in different circles all the time, and you're attending events, and you go,
Absolutely.
hey, I know we got this event tomorrow night. When you get home, I'm already have your outfit laid. Why? Because that's what you want to see her in. And as she's walking and working the room, you're watching her and you're lusting for her. And
mm.
you're like being proud, like that's mine. And when I
But
get home, I'm gonna tear that up.
right.
That's
Absolutely.
one of
So
them times
look,
we ain't
Dr.
got to wait on it.
Javarra.
Just come on with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so Joseph's question was, we know what to do to look sexy because
And that's what I was
we
saying.
tend
Like
to
with
be
the
visual.
guys, it's like that's what I was saying. You all really can't do what we do, but if you put them boxes on or them shorts on with no shirt on, or just a nice wife beat, a new one on, and then you smell good, that
Got you
good
the oil
cologne.
on, you ain't ashy.
Who and I was saying, and put some ash on, take that ash off your feet.
Get Larry, I get Ashley Larry off of me quick.
But you know what? Joseph does have like good colors. So like he had some pajamas that we got from what's that called, Joseph?
Bamboo. Bamboo.
Bamboo. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a linen company, but they have pajamas, but they fit the men
Phenomenal.
really well. But they
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
soft.
gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Bamboo
they
is a
come in
phenomenal
like
company.
burgundy and blue. So when he
Yeah.
wears
Yeah,
those,
I was
whether
gonna
it's
say all of that is important too. Like I was gonna say, no, we're not looking for you to have on those
Christmas.
novelty underwear kind of thing
No,
with the
man.
cartoon, that kind. But like I said, like some cute boxers, like the satin pajamas on. Like say, take the ash off. All men don't like to take the ash off. I
Hmm.
love a well-groomed man. Go get your feet done. Go get your hands done. It's
Hmm.
very masculine,
Yeah.
to do that. I don't want crow's feet on me. And then that scent that that drives her crazy.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, ooh, like, ooh. Now when you're going out, you be like, now you wrong for putting that on right there.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And that's when you say, Dr. Mia, that's when you say, oh, we must not be planning on staying long. You got that on.
Right.
And that makes him feel good because you just let him know you have did something that turns me on.
Absolutely.
And it's a give and take. A lot of times some people in the limited thinking that
Yes.
they figure it's all on the man to do for them or it's all on the woman to do for them. But in a relationship, I've learned in this part of my life, Teddy Pendergrass kind of had us messed up on some stuff. In the essence of 70, he's talking about a 50-50 love thing. I don't
Hmm.
want half of anybody. I want all of you.
Hmm.
Because that means if I'm only getting 50% of you or 70% of you, that means that other 30% somebody can infiltrate and take what's mine.
Mm.
And
That's
so I
serious.
want all of you. And when we're doing and putting these efforts in, if I have all of you, you will accept all of me.
Hmm.
And I
You
think, and I'm glad we're having this conversation because I do think it's important to be intentional. So we've
right.
talked about those people who may be in new relationships. Maybe they didn't date, they're dating after a divorce, after being widowed. And so now this is all new because they probably have been with the same person for 15, 20, 30, 40 years
That
before that.
part.
And now you're about to start dating again and getting out here. So reigniting desire. And the other thing we have to
Yes.
remember is our hormones change.
Whew.
So remember back when we didn't know no better, Dr. Javarra and Joseph, because we all balance our hormones.
Yeah.
When you first start going through that perimenopause or periandropause for men, what happens is a lot of people lose their desire for intercourse.
Exactly.
They don't want
Ex-
to have sex anymore, but and not because they don't love their partner or enjoy their partner, but because their hormones are off. So then we
right.
fix the hormones, and now all of a sudden you become this highly sexual being again.
Baby,
Um,
the wind can blow right.
yes, and it's exciting, but also for those people like us who've been married for 20, 21 years with the same partner, and you've been with that person for 25, 26 years. We want to be able to put some excitement into reigniting this desire too.
So let's go with you all. You all are the easier group, that married group that's had it for a minute. That was one of the great things about when I was in the business,
Hmm.
selling the adult novels. And novelties are, what we call sex toys, but in the state of Alabama, you have to call them, what they are.
Right.
And in the realm with me, I told people I sold lotions and potions and things that make grown folks motion.
Hmm.
Mm.
and
I
and,
like
and
that.
with that part, you have to be ready to adventure to something else because it may be a routine of what you are getting into or have gotten into, but it's time for you to change it up. It's nothing wrong with getting a massage oil and massaging him and massaging her, doing it as a couple without going to Woodhouse. You can do it in the house. Touch is very important
Mhm.
in this relation, at this point, and rediscovering the parts of the body that ignite that feeling
Right. Right.
because they could have died. Like for me, if mine died,
Hmm.
because of how I was being treated,
Right.
everything about me, died. And when you in a fast-paced, demanding career in life, you can love your partner, but things die because you don't touch them all the time, if that makes sense.
It
If
makes
you don't
plenty of
use it all
sense.
the time, it goes dormant. So
Yeah.
for that group right there, go back and remember when you couldn't wait to see him and touch him and get home and what that felt like. And you recreate that. It's nothing wrong with introducing a simple toy into the arena of it. I tell everybody, every woman needs her own bullet,
Mm-hmm.
and she needs to teach her man how to use the bullet on her. I also keep telling women, don't start expecting your mate, your spouse, your partner to move like that bullet.
Yeah.
So, real quick, let me interrupt you right there because this is a discussion amongst men, right?
Okay.
Because I think one of the things that we fight against when it comes to the novelties is the overuse by the partner.
Okay.
And then they start being dissatisfied with us because
Right.
they're basing it on what they're getting from the novelty.
Right. So when we
Okay.
had the conference last time, I
Hmm.
addressed this
Yeah,
that
absolutely. You did.
um a toy should never replace your man. Never
Hmm.
replace your man, because that bullet, that rose can't make me feel like that man can. It can't make me lose my mind and make my eyes roll in the back of my head like my
Right.
man can.
None of that.
Right. So let me ask you
So,
this real quick, Dr. Javarra. I hate to
okay,
keep you up because these questions are coming. All
come
right. So
on.
never should replace the man. I get that
Never.
100%. Just like masturbating should never replace the woman, correct?
Exactly.
Right.
Because when you masturbate a lot, after a while, you won't be able to get it up for your wife.
Right. And then if you watch porn a lot too, your
Exactly.
brain will start playing tricks on you.
Exactly.
So that's one of the things I try to tell men. If you watch porn, okay, fine, but it shouldn't be every day and something that you're masturbating to because
Exactly.
you're masturbating to an image, not to a person.
Exactly. Because
Okay.
she can't do that. We can do some of that, but we can't do it as long because that movie is spliced.
Right. 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 That that
Now
that
that's
movie is
movie is
spliced.
spliced and did some
Yeah.
little things.
It took them
So
all
in
day
that,
to make them 25 minutes.
right. So, because they got to keep coming and going and going and coming. They
Yeah,
got to take a water
100%.
break and all that good and
Because the
wonderful
truth of
stuff.
the matter is a man cannot hold an erection for an hour and a half.
It can't. Look, it can't. Look, it can't.
Yeah, it can't
So,
happen.
with us, we have to learn that to get it started again and be like, hold on. I love my woman. I love my man. I see us going this way,
Hmm.
and we need to come back here. I have a lot of friends now who are in my age who are empty nesters, who
Mm.
are now having to try to find their way back to each other because they were so engrossed in the kids.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
now it's time to find who my husband is, who
Mm.
Hmm.
my wife is. So they're starting it all over again. Like you say, still hang out date. So now, your schedule is not the kids' schedule. So
Right.
now that helps get it going. But for someone like me who has decided that it's time to date again,
Hmm.
because I am deserving to learn how to be loved correctly and have
Absolutely.
somebody to receive my love without
Hmm.
conditions. When they say love is unconditional, when you were in something that had conditions, you want to experience what you see it is and what the Bible tells you it should be.
Right.
And,
100%.
and with that, we have to be like, okay, it's time. We have to get comfortable with ourselves. And sometimes, I've talked to women in this point, they've gone long terms without sex, or any type of intimacy, and they are trying to figure out how to get it all back together. And one thing that I learned in my early 20s, if you don't know your body, then you can't tell anybody else how to do your body.
Hmm.
So, to go back and
Sure.
yeah, learn yourself again, learn how to touch yourself again, your fingers, a toy or something. But again, the overusage, what happens is people don't know how to use them correctly. And I tell people all the time, if you intertwine someone like me, or even
Hmm.
if now those websites, Amazon and places like that are putting us out of business, that you need a lubricant and the proper cleaner. And that lubricant serves as that barrier to keep you from getting numb, from the overusage of doing it over and over again. And it rocks and roll from there. And again, you can masturbate maybe once a week, twice tops. So once you get with a mate, it doesn't make it like you're not interested in him, you're not interested in her. Like if the guy, masturbates a lot and, it's like you said earlier, they're not in tune with each other because they have been so used to doing it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it moves that way, if that makes sense. And when you finally get with someone new, it makes you feel like it's the first time all over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like better right. Tonight is the night.
And you know something? I think when you keep it spicy too, it should feel almost like the first time all the time.
Every time.
Every
Every
time, you
time.
know? And so I had a question to ask you about the novelties. At
Go.
what point, male or female, because I know men use some novelties too, at
Right.
what point should we not go past with the novelties?
What you mean go past?
Like, I know we want to get to climax, right?
Uh-huh.
But what's too far or what's too much or too often?
So, like Dr. Ruth used to
Like
say,
every day, is it every day, 2 or 3 times a day?
You know,
Or is it when
I'm
we
gonna
get
tell
to
you,
a climax and
let me
we
tell
a
you,
thousand times and
at
coming
52,
in?
somebody asked me how often should I do it or you do it or whatever. I told them these words. I'm not everybody, and you
Right,
may not be me, but I
right.
want it as often as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And it's whatever you and your partner decide. Because I want to get my day going good and I want to end my night well. But everybody may not be that way, but it needs to be a couple of times a week in some shape, form, of, or fashion, that you're doing something for your mate. And, so if he can get it up every day, twice a day, then go for it. If she
right.
wants to be bothered once a day, twice a day, then, go for it. Every couple is different. And when you're learning each other, of course, and you may want something long term, you don't want that to be the basis of your, relationship. But yeah, it's, just because you're getting a certain age does not mean you don't deserve it as often as you did back in the day because Kegels work, tighten it up, a lot of stuff that they've come
Mm-hmm.
up to keep it tight and right, clamp down on it. All that stuff that we learned and tried then, it still works now
Mm-hmm.
because it's just as important. Intimacy never dies.
No.
Sex
Right.
never dies. That's an important part of a
Life.
relationship.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's an important part of life. It's a stress reliever.
Yeah.
I done had a rough day. Come take it out.
Let's get
Right.
it on.
You know what? I don't need you to be gentle with me tonight.
Right.
We talk,
Just come.
let's
Let's
get it.
go.
Let's
Let's get
go.
it. Right.
Let's just come on. Look, so that's the thing. We have to realize just because in our way of what we were taught growing up, when you know better, you do better. When you learn better, you do better and you implement better.
Hmm.
Sex doesn't stop because you get at a certain age for a woman.
Right.
Right.
And the man has permission to keep going till he can't anymore.
Right.
I want him to go on and on with me.
All
I
right. We just
always
bust the
want to,
myth. We just bust the myth, right?
yeah.
Because the myth is that we are trying to disperse or get rid of, period, is that the older you get, the less intimate you become on that sexual level.
And
And
that's because that's what our grandmothers were taught by our great great
Mm-hmm.
grandmothers.
hey, they were
That's
sleeping in
what our
separate
mothers were
bedrooms.
taught. And they were also taught that their bodies were not for them.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
They were
that's
taught that
exactly what
their
we're going to talk
bodies
about.
were
Yep.
for their mate and to procreate. That's what
Right.
they were taught. That old African thing, where they was, clipping the young lady's clitoris so they won't get
Oof.
pleasure from it. And that's what has spilled over into those generations. So, when I started selling novelties, a lot of the older people was like, "Ooh, oh my
Right.
God. Oh my
Right.
God." My mother even told me one time, she said, "I'll be glad when you get that out your system."
Yeah, because we're talking about a generation that came, we're talking about 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s
Right.
parents.
But
And, and we're talking about a generation that was taught, especially in the South, that you don't touch
yes,
yourself. You don't
right,
do those
correct,
type of things, and
correct,
which was, kind of crazy because they was doing it. You know,
correct.
yeah, someone was doing it. They just
And they
acted,
were doing it well.
yeah, they was
That's how
actually
you
holding
got
it
different
down.
sets of, children and aunties and uncles by the same grandmama.
Right,
And that's why, you 17, 18 years old and you got sent up north to live with your auntie and cousin up there because you was doing it down south. Then
right,
all of a sudden you come back years later and boom, you got this baby and everybody go to wisdom. Well, she had that baby and that's why they sent her away,
right.
you know, because that's the thing. So we have to teach, and I taught my daughter this, and I've, taught my goddaughters and other young ladies who have come into my realm. Our needs are just as important
Absolutely.
as them. And I also taught them, if he's not pleasing you, tell him.
Tell him, communicate.
Communication is key. Don't have him thinking that he's bringing it and you sitting there watching the wall, paint dry on the wall, and he's thinking he's the man and you have to fake an orgasm. And he gets one, I want one. Hell, I want 2 to 1, 3 to 1. Because that can happen for us.
Yeah.
So it's the teaching them, explore your body, learn what you like so you can tell him what you like.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and another thing too, especially in a relationship or getting back to dating or or starting exploring dating, if you're not having the desire, that's your libido. I want people to understand that that's a libido.
Correct.
Okay, that's not the fact that you can't have sex. It's just that you don't have the desire.
Right.
So if you don't have the
Exactly.
desire, that's a hormone thing, and you need to consult your physician. Come to me, Bella Wellness. We will take care
And
of that.
they'll put them pellets
Pellets.
in your
We
booty,
showed up.
but you
We
can
put
tell
them
Dr.
on,
Neal whether you want it on the left side or the
on
right
the
side.
right side. Which one we on this month?
Which one
And
you want
and
on?
that was something that I had to do for about a year, over the past year, to
Hmm.
get to where I am now,
Right.
because I no longer had the desire
Desire.
because of
Yeah.
what I went through there.
And
But
that's low testosterone. Anybody who thinking that's your low testosterone, that's something that can be corrected. You can get your libido back and get your groove back
ooh,
up.
and now it's like, have mercy, Lord.
Want to
Yes.
do it.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he money do it.
Jesus.
Hallelujah. Yes, Lord. Shoot, I'm about to get up and start running around the room.
And it's like, and I tell people all the time, and I was telling one of my friend girls, one of my younger friend girls, is I said that superficial stuff that we had in our late teens and 20s, that our partner has to be this certain look in
Mm-hmm.
appeal. I have met so many men, you married what society told you should have because of this, but you desired this over here. And that's why so many of them cheat or are miserable or stay in arranged marriages, because society says, I need this size 5, long hair, blah, 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 blah. But you actually want this size 12,
Right.
and, I'm one, because I was 5'3", I need you over 6 feet. Now, and I tell people now, don't get it twisted. Aesthetics is still important because I can't squinch and look at you. I want to be
Hmm.
able to look at you and be like, yeah, that's mine right there. I
Yeah.
like it right there.
It was still important.
That's still important. I can't be like, ooh.
Right.
But the guy that has me wide open right now, he's nowhere near 6 feet. He's 5'8", if maybe 5'7", 5'8". And when I
Hmm.
say he has all the other qualities, and I'm like, that's way more sexy than him standing 6'3".
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So let me ask you this. Because we talked about the libido having and having the desire, and that's what we're talking about, the 50 Shades
You
of
got to get it.
Foreplay,
You
right?
got to get it and keep it.
Yeah, gotta get it and keep it. So and we also talked about dating during the day and sending messages to each other and just making sure we're using all forms of foreplay to
Yes.
have the happiness in our life. So do you believe, and I believe this too, I believe this, in when it comes to having sex, you need to have some selflessness in you so the other
Ooh,
person can be happy.
listen, you can't be selfish.
Mm-mm.
You can't be a selfish lover
Right.
whatsoever. And I tell young ladies that all the time, and especially like with oral sex. You want
Mm-hmm.
to receive it, but you don't want to give it. And you be like,
Mm-hmm.
ugh. And be like, no, that's not cool. Cause little Boom Quisha down there gonna give it to him without him asking.
Mm-hmm.
And then your
Mm-hmm.
feelings gonna be hurt. And tell your partner, and it's not just for women, tell your partner that you want to explore X, Y, and Z. Create safe words when you're both learning it together in the exploration. I'm one of those, I'll do it twice. And when I mean by twice, the first time to see, the second time to see, was it really that good? Or it's to see, was it just bad the first time? But the
Mm-hmm.
one thing I have not gotten comfortable enough with anybody to do is to tie me up.
No, we ain't doing that.
You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
bondage and all, that kind
We
of
know.
thing.
We know.
Uh-uh,
Yep.
I don't want you to put the
Doc
chain around
knows.
me. No,
Doc knows. I've been in
Well,
handcuffs
Joseph don't
before.
want to be tied up. I know that.
I've been in handcuffs before. That is not cool.
and I don't want to be tied up. I don't want to tie you up. Why? Because I want you to touch me doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I want your hands on me. I want your
Mm-hmm.
hands on my hip. I want your hands around. I want you to touch me. And
Mm.
I want to touch you. So that right there, that makes my anxiety level go real, real up. And, the river will dry up. So
Mm-hmm.
it won't be a good moment
Won't be
for anybody because it's just going to be a done deal.
And
my
then, and
anxiety would
then,
be too high for that. I can't do it. You
My,
can't
my
look,
mess me
and
anxiety
for
up.
too high.
some people, they want to. So I think
Some
that,
people like bondage though.
Yeah,
Some
they
people
do.
do
S
like
and M,
bondage.
they love it. But like for
Yeah.
me, that's
Not for
not,
me.
but if you say, hey, I want to go and I want to try it over here, bet, let's go do it.
Yeah, my
When you
people
go
came
on
over here in
vacation,
bondage.
bend me over the railing of the balcony. Cool. Okay, I'm with that. Can we try this position? Okay, cool. And sometimes people have to learn that some of that stuff we see on porn or different things in the Kama Sutra books, our bodies aren't built for that.
Not at all.
Our mates, we may be two different geometric thing going on where it does not work, but it does not hurt to try,
Right.
Okay, try reverse cowgirl. Why,
Yeah.
if you try that, look, try, getting it from the side and not just, the back, try, this way, and that way. Take my leg and put it over here. Now you got to make sure in my 50s, my thighs may be a little thicker than it was in my 20s. So you may have to hold it up right
you
here.
have to help me hold a little bit.
But to come on, but not, they can't go all the way back here like
Hey,
they used to.
hey, sure.
So
I be
it's a
concerned
thing
about
of
these
being
old
comfortable with
ass hips
yourself
over here.
and your partner to enjoy it at this
Yeah,
age.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's
Because
unfair. I think it's real
exactly,
unfair for me to get off and she don't,
because I'm just there as
you know.
I learned to be his sperm depository.
Yeah. Doc is greedy though.
Yeah.
Doc ain't, she may want it all, but she gonna give it to you too. Don't
Oh,
do her
Doc
crazy.
greedy. Doc get about four of them in a row and then be mad she don't get the fifth one. I'd be like, come on, man.
I
We
ain't
50
mad.
plus over here.
I ain't mad,
Like
Doc. It
I'm
must be a
almost
doctor
walking with
thing
a
from young
cane,
girls
you know
off
what I'm
78 Highway.
saying?
Cause
I'm almost walking with a cane over here. Okay.
I'm
I
like,
gotta get up and go to work
ooh.
tomorrow. My hip
I was
hurting,
like,
my neck
Joe,
hurting,
and when I
my
tell
back
you, Joe,
hurting.
like with this guy, I was like, did he just give me 3 in less than 2? And he, oh, okay then. Look,
Yeah.
oh, okay then.
No,
That
Doc get
means
four of them
that
and be
means
like,
I'm coming for
we
you
ain't
round
done.
2.
I'll be
I'm
like,
gonna let you take a nap, whatever you need to do.
Lord.
But if you do me, that's that. But that's a healthy thing. Of
Right.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
want to give you what you've given me.
So let's talk real quick about that communication. And let's talk about communication about the novelties. Let's talk about the communication about being selflessness. Let's talk about communication about uh, giving the person what they want and being able to talk to a person about what you want as well. Let's speak on that communication level because
So
I
with
think
the
where we
like,
break it down is we're not having a conversation about being unhappy.
Yeah.
correct, correct. And like we said earlier, communication is key. And part of the others in our age range, it was what we were taught.
Right.
So that's one thing we have to break. I also had to learn that it's okay to tell them because, like I said, my anxiety was up, but he was new.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk dirty, because in my head, I was like, what he'll think of me if I said I want to do this to him. Will I be rejected again? Will he think less of me again? And when we discussed it, he was fine with it. It was my issue, not his issue, which makes a big difference of moving to, like we say, in this level over 40, 50. It's a communication, even with your spouse. Hey, I think I want to try this. I've been thinking about it for a minute. And what do you think? And he may have been thinking about it. She may have been thinking about it too, but both of you were afraid to bring it to the table.
Right. Right.
Because role play is a good thing. Go dress up, go to the bar and act like you don't know each other and meet at the bar for the first time. That kind of thing. But in this part, when we were talking about the communication, okay, I like novelties. I like toys. Why? I've been divorced for 5 years and I've had needs. Do I use them every day? No. But every now and then I use them to take my edge off.
Right.
I want you to know that. Am I going to use it in your presence? Only until you're ready to tell me that you want to try that. I'm not going to force that on you because I don't want you to think that I want that more than I want you.
Right. And that's
I don't want to
very
mess up
important.
your manhood, your ego.
Right.
I want you to still know that it's me that desires you.
Because it's very easy to damage a man's ego.
Very much. Because
And
anyway, they don't think that you need it anyway, long as you have them. But they don't understand that sometimes when you're doing foreplay, not every time you have sex, but every now and again, that you can take that little basic bullet, you can put it on her clit while you're doing something else. You can be doing nipple play or something like that. And baby, that gets her going while you're doing something else. And when you penetrate, oh my God, goodness, have mercy, it's all about you. Do you want to do that? If you're having sex 3-4 times a week, do you want to do that every time? No. Why? Again, like what we said, it does the numbing where it takes her too long to have an orgasm. Then in his ego, it's like, I got to do this in order to get her this way.
Overstimulate.
And in actuality, you don't. Leave it in the drawer. Look, leave it over there. Look, leave it over there. Does my friend know I have them? Yes. Right. Because of where do we because I want you. Baby, that thing over there can't do me like you do me. That does not make me feel this way. So the communication of this is what I want. This is what I desire. Also, I had to be very open with him about what I had experienced.
Okay.
In this arena. Everybody's experience may not have been mine, but take it the widow who had the great man, the great love, who may have just died, had a heart attack, car accident. It was not expected, because in our age range, that they are leaving here. We used to think certain stuff was for older,
right,
people.
Right,
and
absolutely.
At this age, we're not old, but they're having heart attacks. My brother died of congested heart failure when he was 45. So, it's like that kind of thing that we're not expecting to be a widow in our 40s.
Right.
Or our 30s.
And
so
then you
have
to start
say,
over
hey,
when you think
my husband, or my wife, this is how I am a widow or widower. And I enjoy this, that, and other. I do understand that you're not her or him, but if we can figure out how we can do this together, because everybody went bad. We had some other stuff going on, but this was great right here. And I like it. Let's figure out how we can redo it for ourselves. I don't want you to do it like him or her did. We have to figure out how we can do it together in our relationship because it's new.
Good deal. So do you think, and I think it is, but do you think it's very important to also communicate your sexual traumas?
Very much.
I think you just talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But whether
it's the trauma of, and I'll be open, I was rejected in my marriage sexually to where at certain points towards the end, I can initiate and he didn't respond to me.
Wow.
And that was fine for him.
Please.
But it was catastrophic for me.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's a big ego thing with
And for him, it goes, my blood pressure, it was always an excuse
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of it. Or if it did happen, it didn't last long.
Mm-hmm.
And that ego kind of kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
And when it did happen and lasted longer, it wasn't about me.
Mm-hmm.
It was about him. So
Mm-hmm.
that was something that had to be discussed, that I'm apprehensive about initiating, because when I did, not only was I rejected, then sometimes I was interrogated on why I did it. Why you did that? Why, and it still hurt me
Mm-hmm.
on, I did it because I wanted to be with you,
Right.
you know.
Absolutely.
So to have to go through that, I was like, I just won't.
Yes.
So here that was addressed, because men want to be wanted and desired just
Right.
like we do. They don't want to always be the initiators.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it was hey, this is what happened to me for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it has gotten me here. So sometimes I introduce him to my alter ego, and her name is Jazzy. And
Mm-hmm.
Jazzy explains to him who that sexual being used to be,
Right.
and that I'm fighting to get back to her, but that trauma has to completely healed.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because
Yeah.
when you are not, okay, this is my friend, but we're not in a committed relationship. We've discussed it. We still, learning each other, whatever. So we ain't trying to say, oh yeah, this, and let's go here. It's still certain things I feel should be come together for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Everybody can't get the same activity.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So if we decide, okay, we're gonna go from here to here, then some of that things that my alter ego want to do, because we used to do it and enjoyed it in the beginning, in the middle of my marriage, let's try it again. And I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
because I have a fear of rejection.
Right.
Right. Right. Right. Rightfully
And when
so,
I
though.
say, at 52, I have a fear of rejection. And people look at me when I share bits and pieces they say, but you walk so confidently. And I say, yeah, because you don't need to know my business,
Right.
at that time. And they was
Right.
like, oh, but you were the sex toy guru. Yeah, but I wasn't doing none of that. I just had to make your money.
Right.
So I put on this for you to get it.
Yeah.
Right.
I went home and shit. I took a shower and I went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Is what it is. So that's very, important to say, hey, this happened to me. Even if you were molested or,
Mm-hmm.
Rape.
raped, that kind of thing. Hey, I was at the club, somebody and this what happened to me. So give me a minute. So it, like we keep saying, it's the communication
Yes.
of, and, just so happened, this guy's just a really great guy. And he's like, okay, cool. So it's no rush. It's been about a year now. So it just has not been a rush to go do this adventuresome basic thing.
Right.
Right.
So he understands, like, when he comes over, if I go in that room and he said, oh, okay, you going into that room and you coming back in a new outfit. I'm gonna go in there because I want to try it, because I want to build my confidence back up to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I know he wants to be wanted and desired. I want to be wanted and desired, but I can't get past it if I don't put it into action.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Right. Right.
So,
Absolutely.
so I think it is important to be intentional about making sure we are prioritizing the desire, the arousal, the enjoyment,
Yes,
and really the intimate act of being able to enjoy physical intimacy forever.
correct.
I do like how we focused on it's not just the physical intimacy, but also the importance of all the other forms of intimacy that feed into physical intimacy. So having that time to talk and communicate and share what you like and what you don't like, or what may be going on with you emotionally, spending that time, having a good time, going out on dates, doing your recreational intimacy, doing
Right.
your intellectual. So all of them, the spiritual intimacy, so that you can get to that good, healthy
Yes.
physical intimacy, but not getting too complacent in long
Exactly.
relationships and making sure you're
Exactly.
trying to keep it fresh and new and add that
Exactly.
foreplay, the excitement back in,
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
reigniting the flame of desire
And
and
when I
being
say
excited about it.
I am loving this phase of my life, I am so loving learning me again
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, oh, I like her. I
Yeah.
like this woman I have evolved to. I went through what I went through to get to here,
Right.
to
Mm-hmm.
appreciate what God has coming for me. Because, I told the Lord, I said, my bad. I rushed it. I just told you certain things. I gave you some general descriptions. I've learned now, the older I've gotten and the more I've gotten into your word, I got to be extra specific. Like I tell my students, you have to go from general information to specifics to back it up. Now I have been extra specific in what I desire.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And
And
that
if you
makes,
don't communicate it, he wouldn't know.
I
He
think
wouldn't
as
know.
real adults, because over 50, you become a real adult,
yeah, you grown.
you grown. And so I think as real adults, we, first of all, we don't have the time to
To play
really
with you.
beat around the bush.
I had time to play with you.
We know what we want.
That's it.
I think it's really important in relationships. And we talk to couples a lot. I think it's really important in relationships and single individuals. It's really important that you express what it is you want, and it could be the simplest thing. And I think if it's sincere, it shouldn't hurt anyone's feelings
Exactly.
or
Because
damage someone's ego.
exactly.
Because
Exactly.
I think we're at the point now of where we're trying to be healthier, right?
Exactly.
And part
Because
of
I'm
being
in the gym
healthy,
at least about 3, 4 days a week, and I never thought I would go to the gym.
see,
Never.
we're trying to be healthier because
Never.
we're trying to get these, we're trying to get these last 40 years. We're trying to get
Yeah.
them,
And
you
like
know.
Dr. Mia said, I wouldn't mind going to heaven that way.
Yeah, hey, she
Mm.
know. Hey, we till we die. That's how we
Till
try
we,
to
till we die.
go.
And,
So
and I'm with that. I want until the day the Lord says,
it's good.
is
Yep.
what I want. Look,
Right. Right.
it's what I want. But it's the great thing, like with you two, it's even though you've been together for 20 plus years, the evolving of who you are, that you
Mhm.
are able to adapt to each other evolving
Yeah.
to
And
where it
another
works
thing, we're
for
learning
you.
how our bodies are changing too.
Yeah,
And
because
we're
we're not that
changing,
size 5.
yeah, we're changing with our bodies.
Yes.
I told Doc the other day, and I hate it. I'm a bourbon drinker,
Oh
right?
yeah.
I collect bourbon. I can't drink bourbon.
He sure can't.
I can't drink bourbon. Okay. And the reason why I can't drink bourbon, it messes with my erections.
And then you need to leave that alone.
Right.
Right.
And
And
then
so
You
like
know,
we'll forget.
we went to a little brunch the other day, and everything on the menu, everything they served was
have
bourbon.
bourbon.
And we didn't really think about it at first. We just like he had a couple of drinks and
And it's
Yeah.
like, oh my. So
Yeah.
with me, Brother Joseph, I'm just the opposite. I'm a vodka drinker
me
Hmm.
too.
because I've never, not told my story of I had full gastric bypass in 2008.
Okay.
Not the little cute thing that they're doing now. So when they go in and cut different parts of me, so I could not process the sugar
Hmm.
in the beginning of the bourbon because I'm a Jack Daniels girl. So I
Hmm.
found that I can do the vodka, the Tito's, the different,
Yeah.
brands, the Belvedere, the Grey Goose. But now I can tolerate that Jack Daniels,
Hmm.
whether it's the Jack Daniels, Gentleman Jack, because it's smooth. So, new friend has learned when I send him that picture of that bourbon glass, that's a different type of night.
Shoot, I be thinking about it, but it don't.
You,
That
you
bourbon
understand what I'm saying?
is
For
the
you, it
use.
does you this way. For me, it does it. Whew, look. Now
That
that's
bourbon is
that's the
working
one you
against
may
me.
get that's totally uninhibited. Cause that Jack or
Yeah.
the Hennessy then told me I can stand on top of my head.
But that has been something that's happened over the last 3 years, 3 to 4 years. It's
Because
like
your body changed.
Since COVID. And so,
Yeah.
I collect bourbon and I'm so sick because if I'm drinking bourbon, Mia got to be out of town.
Period.
Yeah, she got to be out of town.
Look, and she ain't gonna be happy with you either, bro Joseph,
Yeah,
when she get home
because I can't do
and
nothing.
see the bourbon over there.
That bourbon is poison to my body because I can't get hard. I can't do nothing from drinking bourbon.
Just look at the nice collection.
Yeah. So
Just look
yeah,
at
I
the
got a
nice.
nice collection. That's for real.
Yeah, so if people come visit, y'all can have plenty of bourbon.
I got plenty of
Look, long
bourbon.
as you
You better
have like,
believe it.
I'll take a little gentleman's Jack, Jack
I'm gonna give you
Honey,
some of
look,
that. I'm gonna
Jack
give you some of
Honey.
that. I got some Jack Single Barrel and some Jack Sinatra.
I'll even take, that crown
Oh yeah, I got some
every
good
line.
crown
But
too.
yeah, that gentleman's Jack. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
I can't do it. And I'm so mad about it. I'm like, and I told me
Oh
on Sunday we
yeah.
was drinking. I was like, man, I've been drinking bourbon. I'm horny as a damn shoot. I'm not, and I know I tried to do mind over matter. It did not help.
It didn't work.
No,
It
it didn't
didn't
work.
work.
So when I say that to say we got to pay attention to how our bodies are changing
Yes.
as we get older, and we trying to have 50 shades of foreplay,
All that.
and
All
we try
that.
to do all that. So we got to pay attention. But that doesn't mean that. Now, by the way, that still don't mean we ain't have a good time.
Right. Because you can do other stuff.
Yeah, you can do other
Right.
It's
stuff.
just that part that may not work, but you can do other
Do other
stuff,
stuff.
other things to make it cool.
Don't
But
mean we
I
didn't have a good
understand
time, but I was
what
still
you're saying,
disappointed in
what
my
works
bourbon
and what
drinking.
does not work.
Right.
Hmm.
Like I
Right.
tell
And
young
coming to
ladies
grips
when
with the change in body, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But the
Yeah.
good news is that when our parents had changes in their body, they didn't really have options. We have
they
options.
just shut down.
We can
They
get our
just shut down.
hormones balanced. We can make sure our testosterone levels are good. We can get our O shot and our P shot for the men who may be having problems with erections. They can have their P shots. They can have their P waves. They can do hydrogel, and the same for
All
women.
that.
So even though we changing and we aging
It's
and
something for us.
we're evolving,
Right.
we can
Very
also
much.
evolve our treatments so that they are
Exactly.
appropriate and we can continue to experience everlasting intimacy till
Exactly.
death do us apart.
That part right there. I want to be like the color purple, how he died on top of me.
On
On
top of
top of me.
On top of me.
So we want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you, Dr. Javarra. It's always a pleasure
Anytime I
to
love
have
it because
you.
it's just that freedom of sexuality that so many of us
Absolutely.
Yes.
are
100%.
in a cage about. Unlock the cage and come on and be free.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Come
Absolutely.
on, so we can teach you how to live well,
Right.
age well, and experience
Exactly.
what? Everlasting.
Everlasting.
So
Everlasting.
join us for our next episode of Ageless Vitality. I don't know what that one is. This is season 2. This is our third episode, and we want to see you on the fourth. So stay tuned. You should be hearing about that one in the next couple of weeks. Dr. Javar, I appreciate you. You know you'll be back on here because we got to have more conversations. But today, y'all, 50 Shades of Foreplay,
Just let me
reigniting
know.
desire after 40. We have told you the importance of physical intimacy, of communicating, making sure you're trying new things, and making sure you're communicating about those first, making sure you have
Yes.
your safe word, making sure you still doing the visual part for yourself and your partner so you can be confident and feel sexy. It makes you perform better for men and women. So we all want a little eye candy every now and then. And we all want to try some new things and keep that passion and that spark ignited forever, ever, ever. So just
Forever.
because we aging does not mean we are dead. It means that we are getting better and we're being more creative and we learning how to make sure that even as we age, we can have the best orgasms ever and enjoy the gift from God.
That's it.
Joseph,
What?
do you have any last words? First, Dr. Javara, and then Joseph usually leaves us with the tip. So give it,
No,
both of
just
y'all, I need a good tip I need a
So
good tip
the
from
good
both
tip
of
is
y'all to
for me,
end
it's
50 Shades of Foreplay.
for me in this age, be true to yourself and don't deny yourself.
There you go.
I
There you
like it. Be true to yourself and don't deny yourself.
Don't deny yourself.
Love it. Joseph?
Man, you know, I don't never think about it. You ask me every time. I don't never think about it. What's my tip? Hmm. Just give her the tip.
Ah, yeah. Yes. Yes.
There's my tip. Just give it a tip.
So please
All
just
right, y'all. Until next time, Ageless Vitality with Dr. Mia and Joseph. Thank you, Dr. Javarra, for joining. We'll catch y'all on the next one.